And hello and welcome to episode 119 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers, by scale modelers, all about scale models. And this show could not be made possible without the support of our fantastic Patreon supporters. If you would like to help support the show, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from as little as $1 per month upwards. Your contributions help with the production and hosting costs and are greatly appreciated. Established in 2016, the Scale Modeler Supply has developed a comprehensive range of premium acrylic lacquer paints designed specifically with the scale modeler in mind. Certified Australian made, SMS paints are tough and durable with a fast drying time that have been designed to use straight from the bottle, taking all the guesswork out of airbrushing. Simply shake and spray. The ever-growing range of SMS paints will suit all types of model builders, be it military, aircraft, cars, train, science fiction or gunpla. SMS premium acrylic lacquer paints will have a colour to suit you. SMS products are available through a trusted network of stores across Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, the US, and are also now available for the first time in the UK through From Model Centre. Check the SMS website at www.scalemodeler.com.au to find your closest stockist. These paints are on my bench and I use them all the time, so I know that you will not be disappointed. And hello and welcome to the show, and with me I've got Ian. G'day Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day Julian, g'day Benchers.
And of course I've got Julian there somewhere as well. Hey Julian.
Good morning.
How have you all been, guys?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Any new
Pretty good, Dave. Yeah, pretty good.
Any new purchases at all?
Yeah.
What's broken the bank this week, Ian?
I got the new Edward boxing of the 148 scale Mustang Mark IV.
Oh, very nice.
RAF boxing.
Yeah.
And picked up the Mung French FT-17 light tank with a riveted turret.
Oh, cool.
And fire armor base in 135th scale.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. So, I've got some Hornet heads for the European heads with hairstyle, Circia, 1890 to 1915.
What the heck are they?
Just some old-timey heads, as Julian would say.
Old-timey heads, yeah.
Well, since I'm doing a lot of First World War stuff, I need some old-timey hairstyles.
Lots of moustaches.
Oh, yeah, lots of moustaches.
Mustachio. Yeah, senor.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was my purchases.
Excellent. Julian?
Myself, I don't think I have. I don't think I've bought anything new. Oh. No, I don't think so. I'm holding off because I feel like myself
coming out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? I mean, I feel like myself and everyone around me seems to be just buying so much stuff. Like it's outstripping their they're building like one kit every 3 months or something, but they're buying like 20 kits a month.
Hey, are you talking about me?
Yeah, you're one of them. It's like, how do you expect to balance that checkbook, you know?
You don't. It's the proverbial rabbit hole. Once you're in it, you just keep falling further and further down.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but don't forget, Julian, Ian and I are staring down retirement in about 10 years, so we've got a plan for that.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Hopefully our eyesight keeps going. And
the thing is, I also know plenty of retirees, and they keep they're buying just as many kits as you guys are, right?
Yeah. It's a horrible habit.
I have been building though.
Yes, what have you been building?
Well, I've actually got off my ass and started painting. So I've got a half painted. I've got a half painted. Hurricane going on.
Nice.
So I'll be putting on I did the underside color last night, so I'll put topside colors on today. I'm pretty motivated to do that. as soon as we're done with this podcast, I'm going out into the garage and painting away.
Nice weather for painting too today.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And then I also, because I had a bit of primer left over, I primed the hull on my little hydrofoil boat.
Cool.
Ship, whatever. I don't care about
Technically, it's a boat because it's a ship can go on a boat, but a boat can't go. No.
This could go on a
hang on,
ship.
Wait, let me get that right. A ship can't go on a boat, but a boat can go on a ship. That's how you get it.
Right. Yeah, but this technically, while it's probably small enough that you could fit it on some ship somewhere, it's not really for that.
It's a patrol boat. You don't have the word patrol ship. It's patrol boat.
Okay, whatever. I don't care. It's a hydrofoil. It's in a separate class of its own. As far as I'm concerned, it's an aircraft.
Okay.
So I started putting a bit of paint on that. And then I thought, hang on a second. There's supposed to be fins on the bottom of this thing, and I haven't put them on.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
So I had, after I primed it, I took it inside and glued the fins on it. So the next time I have to prime something, I'll finish priming that, and then I'll be able to mask up the boot line and paint the rest of the hull.
But hang on, I've built that kit, and you've half finished it. Didn't the fins already come in one sort of with the whole foil?
No. On the actual hull, there's two vertical fins that stick out from the rear.
Okay.
They sit like when it's in its hydrofoil mode, they are basically between the actual large fin type portions of the hydrofoil, like the two mast portions, right?
All right, I better go back and recheck mine just to make sure.
Yeah, they're just tiny little fins that sit on the underside of it.
I'll have to go and have a look there. I think I might have forgotten to put something on mine.
Whoopsie.
Oh, dear.
Really? Wow. That'll be interesting. But, another thing is sort of why I've been a bit lazy with this kit is because, with most ship kits, you got to mount it somehow, right? And the problem is I would have to get a base for it, and then I would have to get Ian to make the base. But in order for Ian to make the base, I have to design it. And it's not an easy case of with most ships, you sort of go, well, it's yay long and yay wide, so I'll just add a few numbers on top, and then just get a plank. Essentially, it's a plank. And then you have your little things, your mounting devices, however you want to do it, whether you use the finial things or you do the wood block things, and you're done. But this thing is a bit weird. I've got to sort of make sure it's also aligned horizontally because it sort of comes up at the front when it's in hydrofoil mode, and because I've got it posed in hydrofoil mode, the nose sits higher than the tail. So I've got to figure out some way of positioning it in the correct manner.
Okay. I'll dig mine out and send you a picture of how I got mine sitting on its little plinth, so you get an idea.
Oh, you've got it mounted.
Yeah,
that's right. I need to have a look.
No worries, I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting because I was messing around with some ideas of, maybe I should just put a wooden block underneath the rear and the front hydrofoil, right? That's an easy way of doing it.
No, or maybe I should overcomplicating it. I'll just show you a picture of mine, and it's so simple. It's perfect.
Oh, I hope it's not too janky.
What's janky? What the heck does that mean?
Scuffed. Very a junkyard.
No, I'll have
jury,
you know.
Jury rigged.
No, it's very refined. Thank you. I'll have you know. Very refined. Call me janky.
What does that mean? It doesn't know janky.
Well, I'm not all hip like you are. I don't go out to nightclubs and all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
I don't go to nightclubs. What are you talking about?
Oh dear. You building anything else or painting anything else or?
I'm still building some of those little 70-second scale tanks. I started I've gotten to the point where with the FV432, the little British armored personnel carrier that I have to do tracks, so I've procrastinated on that, and I've started working on the Chieftain that came in the same box. So
Cool.
It'll be interesting.
How's that build going together? Good?
It's okay. I've barely started. But what I'm a bit mindful of is that once, because you know how it's got like bogey suspension, unlike most modern tanks, it's got a bogey suspension setup. Once I've got the wheels on and the tracks on, I then have to put skirts on, but the skirts are made of photo etch.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be an interesting little journey. And it's also got like actual like horizontal like braces that hold the skirts on,
Right.
which you don't see on things like an Abrams. So it's been interesting.
We shall wait and see how it comes together, and then we will critique it.
Yeah.
I'll critique your building style.
Why not? I don't care.
Ah, jeez. So I've purchased quite a few things, but the biggest single item would have to be my 1/35th scale Lark, which is a US amphibious cargo vehicle. It's like a duck, really, sort of a larger form of the duck, or a duck in its latest iteration. So the US Army, US Marines, and Australian Army, quite a few other armies actually use this. In fact, the Australian Army is still using these, and they're currently got a tender out for a replacement for them. So
yeah, they look like they need a replacement. It's very, it looks very dated.
Well, it certainly is. As I said, we've been using it since the Vietnam War. In Australia, have used them extensively, particularly down in Antarctica as well. And most recently, they were used in that big evacuation of all those people out of the fires. Was it last year, last summer, or the summer before? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, so I purchased this. I got the Vietnam version because that's the closest one to what the Aussies use. There is a later version that is manufactured by Kotare Models. The only changes I've really got to do to this one is put some bollards on it, and it's sort of ready to go. And
cool.
It comes to shark's teeth, but the Aussies don't do shark's teeth on their one, so I thought Ian might be interested in that, shark's teeth.
Well, is that because like sharks hold no real, menacing sort of threat to us?
I don't know. I don't know. Ian, how come you got such an interest in shark's teeth?
Because they look cool. It's as simple as that. They look cool.
Well, there you go.
Well, actually, one of the markings in the Edward Mark IV Mustang is a all bare metal 112 Squadron Mustang with shark's teeth, which is quite interesting. Wasn't expecting that, but it was a bit of a bonus.
Absolutely. The only other thing I've been doing is building the Musharu Cup kit, sort of working my way through that.
Yeah, you're making good progress.
Well, yeah, it's coming up really, really nice.
The legs are done. I've just got to, hopefully later on today, I'll get a bit of time and work on the arms and then the body. I still haven't done any weathering yet. I've done a little bit of weathering on the feet, but I sort of pulled it back a bit after some consideration. But, I'm just going to weather the legs next, and, it's looking really janky.
Wow. You learn a new word, and now you're just liberally, like, carpet bombing it all across every conversation you're having.
Yeah, why not?
You can get away with it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I bought something else that came in the mail the other day, but I can't remember what it was. And it's just, yeah. Oh, I can't really progress any further.
Wow.
I can't.
You're buying so many things, you've forgotten what you've bought.
No. Let me think now. It'll come to me. Got some decals that arrived for my Phantom. I got them from Furball, and they look actually exquisite.
Nice.
Which reminds me, Quinta Studios now has the cockpit for the Tamiya Phantom, which I'm going to have to go and pull the trigger on. So, yeah, That's a next purchase. I'm going to do that today. Oh, God, I got money flying out like you wouldn't believe. But anywho, that's pretty much it for me. What I was going to say is I can't really get too far into the weathering because I'm waiting for some decals to arrive for the Moosaroo build that I'm doing. And I can't put the decals on. I can't do the weathering until I put the decals on, then I can do the weathering. So I'm sort of held up now until they arrive in country, which could be goodness knows when.
Well, fingers crossed, sooner than later.
Well, I've got until March to finish this thing, so I've got quite a while. So
Yep.
Yeah, no, it should be pretty cool. And I've got a head start on all the other podcasts. They haven't even done anything except opened it and looked at it, I think. So
well done.
I'm miles ahead.
Good to hear, Dave.
Well, the reason why they've probably haven't done anything yet is because they're off at IPMS.
Yeah.
Well,
the
Nationals.
Well, they are.
I should say, yeah,
but,
IPMS Nationals, yeah.
Well,
clarify, yeah.
Well, some of them are. I mean, the Stuart up in Canada's not, and you got the boys from Just Making Conversation. They're not going anywhere, so...
I don't know. All I did is I saw like a great big photo of them all congregating, and I couldn't remember which ones were there and which ones weren't. I just saw a big group of people.
We were supposed to be there. That's what hurt so much.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking when I was looking. I was like, yeah, I could have been there drinking things and eating breakfast with them.
I feel like one of those, kids who wasn't allowed to go to a party until you sit at home.
You're all salty about it.
and you're watching all the other kids that have walked past, or even worse, one of those religious groups that don't celebrate Christmas, and you're sort of sitting at home and while the kids are out in the street riding their new bikes and playing with their remote control cars. Oh, that's how I feel.
Jeez, that sounds like a real 90s movie,
It does, doesn't it?
Like this sounds like the plot for a 90s movie where he's staring at the kids staring out the window, looking at the other kids and getting all sad.
Never mind. Omaha 2022, gents. That's what we're aiming for next.
So Ian, you didn't mention your Tory Factory figures.
Oh yeah, I found a brand of figures, Tory Factory. I think they're out of China or somewhere. Looks like they're a mixture of resin and 3D printing. Mostly girls in modern military garb, usually in tank tops and slightly revealing gear, but very, very nice figures. I can't really say too much more than, they're really just so well sculpted.
Oh, they're a Korean company.
And they're cheap as chips here in Australia. I think I'm paying, $15, $16 a figure.
For what scale?
That's pretty cheap. It's 135th.
They're not all 135th. I think
they do 120 and 124 and...
Yeah, I think almost every figure that they do can come in all three scales. I was just I did see them on V&A and I took a brief look, but I didn't realize there were so many other figures in their lineup.
Yeah. Well, there's a really funny one like Julie and I will have a bit of a crack up about, and that's the old Asian granny with the minigun.
Yeah, she's carrying a minigun, like. And there's some really oddball, like some of them are clear nods to video games.
Yeah.
That I recognize.
Yep.
Like for example, there's one that actually comes with like a cardboard box over her, like with just her head sticking out of the top of the cardboard box. Yeah, there's some weird stuff. One of them is like the robot dog that Boston Dynamics make. That yellow and black robotic dog.
Yes.
It's like that, except it's got you can mount a crossbow on its head where its head should be. It comes with a little crossbow that goes there. Don't ask me why. It's another, weird curiosity thing.
Man, That's weird.
And me, I always go for the weird.
Yeah, but I can see why Ian would go for this because there's a lot of the kind of poses and like the girls that you would put on the wing of a plane or something, like
I did with Dottie.
Right.
Scale figure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very much in that vein. But they cover enough subjects that you could put one next to a car. There's one there where
and not all the figures are scantily clothed. There's some just normal clothed figures.
Yeah.
All right.
It's good to see new products out there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of new products, let's have a very quick break and we'll launch into some listener mail and then we'll have a look because there's a whole heap of new stuff out there and we need to have a chat about something that is electrifying out of New Zealand that we need to have a quick chat about, but we'll do that after. Yeah. But let's have a quick break and we'll be back with some listener mail and we'll lots of more interesting stuff to talk about. Whether you build aircraft, armour, ships, science fiction, cars or figures, the Fine Scale Modeller magazine provides the how-to information you need to take your modelling to the next level. In each issue of Fine Scale Modeller, you'll find clear how-to features on model assembly and finishing written by experts, reviews of the hottest model kits and products, tips and techniques for assembling, painting and finishing, as well as inspiring photos of readers' models. To find out how you can get your copy of Fine Scale Modeller, go to www.finescale.com. Okay, and we're back to have a look at some of the listener mail that we've received. And Justin Ryan wrote in and said, "Hey guys, just finished the latest episode, which is another good quality one. One question, why was it so short? How is Kentucky Dave going to get his yard work done?" I wrote back to Justin and said that it wasn't particularly short for any particular reason. It's just the way that one particularly finished up. So...
Yeah. Once we ran out of things to say.
It was what it was.
You don't want to drag it out.
No. Adam Greenwald writes in, "Hi Dave, Ian and Julian, listening to your podcast. You are still high quality content, and I think this
someone thinks so.
I think this is a good topic, and the one he referring to is our last one we spoke about just being it's okay to be an average modeler. And he sent through a link that he read a few years ago about mediocrity being okay. So that was from Adam in Whitley Bay, and appreciate that, Adam. That was a great little article that you sent in. Now, let me see. Let's go back and find the next one. Gavin Lee. Sorry, beg your pardon, Garvin Lee. I've got his name wrong.
Wow, you actually caught that yourself this time.
Yeah, I did. Oh. Garvin writes in, "Firstly, Dave, I know that your Ian and Julian will needle you again about the pronunciation, but last time I sent you boys an email, you pronounced my name incorrectly. It should be Garvin, as in garden, not Gavin, as in Gavin McLeod. Anyway, my name has an R in it, while others do not. Anyways, you're forgiven, as I've been called worse. Now, about your podcast, number 117, when we're talking about small scales, I stress the need for magnifying glasses, especially if you plan to work on detail work in that scale and smaller. I've built a collection of 1/144th helicopters, and while I like the ability to display them in small space, I find myself using magnifying headset as it's hard on the eyes since I'm getting older. Got to agree with him there. I must have listened to your podcast for at least 4 times and must say I was disappointed they didn't list some of the following manufacturers. So let's address that now. AFE Club have 1/144th, 1/100th, 1/350 and 1/700 scales. Plaz, which is a Japanese importer of both manufacturer, and F-Toys, which is also Japanese, does everything from planes to tanks and ships to sci-fi in 1 to 1/1500th. Wow.
Geez, that'd be small.
Shapeways, of course, you got 3D miniatures there. Micromere for Russian subjects. KV for 1/144th airliners. And there are probably a whole bunch of others. And the best way to find these kits is, of course, go to Scalemates. So that's Garvin Lee, who is an IPMS member in Toronto. P.S. Suggestion to have future guests who build in small scales. That's not a bad idea at all. So we might look at that into the future.
Yes.
Hector Colon. Hector Hector Colin. I've got to get that right. Hector's a good friend of the show. And he writes, "G'day, guys. After a year of being in lockdown, the Butch O'Hare Model Club is back.
Woo!
Like the USS Nimitz in that classic movie, The Final Countdown, we are back with a new venue and renewed enthusiasm. So unless that Putts in Springfield shuts down the gate again, we're going to be having our show on Saturday, November the 13th, 2021. And that show is going to be at the DuPage County Fairgrounds, Buildings 2 and 3, 2015 Manchester Road, Wheaton, Illinois. So why don't you guys just go and drop in there?
Yeah, drop in and have a look.
November the 13th. That sounds like a fantastic show. And from the guys there, I reckon it's going to be a great show, of course. David Haddican writes in, "Hope you guys are all tracking along well and that the podcasters and all your families are safe and well." Thank you, we are. David's mentioning that they're back in lockdown in Canberra, which is frustrating but understandable. On the plus side, it's given me a chance to get back onto the bench and catch up with a few podcasts. I was hearing you say how you were lacking ideas for the livery of your Musaru build. Well, actually, David, we've got that sorted now. But he goes on to suggest he thought it might be interesting if all participants painted their kits in the colours of either their national display teams, such as the Roulettes here in Oz, or the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels in the US, or even maybe the Snowbirds in Canada. Or perhaps just the national airline livery. That's not a bad idea. The only trouble with that is because we've got 3 podcasts in the US with a potential 4th one coming on to the Musaru Cup next year round, it'd be a bit difficult for them to do just their national display teams in those colours. But a cracking idea and maybe something for the future, David. So thank you very much for that.
Hey.
Stuart Malone writes, "Gents, my apologies for being a bit behind your release schedule. I'm trying to get caught back up as quickly as I can. I've been listening to you guys since the beginning, or as I like to put it, BJE, before the Julian era."
Ooh.
That's way
Was
back.
that like 2 whole episodes or something?
No, you didn't really come on until about episode 10. You're a special guest and then sort of never went away.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I
See,
can't remember.
we did you with episode 10, I think it was. And then you just showed up for episode 11 and 12 and you kept showing up ever since. You guys.
Someone had to lift this thing out of the gutter.
Good on you.
Stuart writes in, it continues, he says, "You guys have come a long way and I appreciate your efforts in keeping the podcast going and continuing to improve it." Oh, that's great kudos. Thank you very much. In one of your earlier podcasts, you had a discussion on model of feedback at contests. I would suggest those that want help on getting better, find your local club and go to the monthly meetings and ask a lot of questions. The meetings are the best time and place to improve your modelling skills. While you might get some answers out of contest, you'll more than likely get opinions, theories and speculations galore. Whereas at meetings you get a lot more sort of detailed information. Who knows, you might even get a couple of right answers. For the few that don't have a local club, find your nearest one, send an email to the club contact and get on their email list. Even if you can't attend meetings, you can send email to the entire club with pictures and questions. You guys also had a chat about coming to the States for the Nationals at some points. Might I suggest Omaha 2022? And yes, Stuart, we are seriously looking at that. Just to get you started thinking about it, let me point out some of the local attractions for you and your travelling companions, such as the Sack Museum, which I'm really keen to get to. That sounds like a fantastic idea. So thanks again for your podcast. It's Stuart Malone, IPMS Great Plains Chapter, Kansas City, Missouri.
Fantastic.
We got to get there. We really do. Eugene Shooter writes in. I hope I got that right. Anyway, hello, David and Julian. Just a quick email to say thank you for your podcast during COVID. Your podcast has kept me company until my club, which is IPMS McKinstry chapter, which is held at Arlington Heights Library, has just restarted to have monthly meetings again. When each episode drops, I download and save it and listen while modelling. I now have to buy a new phone. I need more memory because I re-listen to every episode again while taking my daily morning walk. That's from Eugene in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Thank you very much, Eugene.
Yeah, it was great.
And, of course, if you do want to send us an email, you can send an email to onthebench64@gmail.com. We love hearing from you and really appreciate your feedback, guys. Shall we have a talk about new kit releases?
Yeah.
Now, the Falcon has written in, and he covers some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about, but he's got some really good ones in here. So, first of all, the Falcon says, "Hi, Dave, Ian and Julian. For aircraft news, let's start with A&A Models. They're doing a 1/72nd scale Beechcraft 200. Is expected to be available this September. There will be 3 marking options, one for the RAF, one for Sécurité Civile, which is France, and one for Sweden." I'm not even going to pronounce that word.
It doesn't have nearly enough vowels in it. It looks like a Welsh
vowels in it. Fleegvapnet.
Yes.
Vapnet.
We do actually have some listeners in Sweden, so perhaps they can educate us in the correct pronunciation. Dora Wings have been busy as usual, and they've posted pictures of a complete set of sprues for their upcoming 72nd scale P-43 Lancer. Dora say that it is planned for a September release. Staying with the small scale, Dora have completed the final renders for their 72nd scale A31 Volti Vengeance. This one won't be on sale till next year, but by going by the CAD, the wait will be worth it. And even better news, Dora will be also kitting the A35 version and later. So we should be able to make a Royal Australian Air Force one out of that.
Definitely. I'm pretty sure the markings will be RAF too.
Oh, cool. A bit more news about Dora's 48 scale Volti Vengeance. They have shown marking options for the first boxing, and there are four of them in all. One of them's going to be for the Royal Australian Air Force. Well, there you go, Ian.
All of them, yeah.
That won't make everyone happy, but you can expect other boxings with markings for other operators. The kit will be released in November, which, when you think about it, is getting quite close to the festive season. I'm thinking the Vengeance would make a wonderful Christmas present for Julian.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Actually, they were pretty... the Volti Vengeance was used by the US Army Air Force, and they didn't really like it that much, hence the reason why the Royal Australian Air Force ended up with so many of them.
Yeah.
For our listeners who don't know what a Volti Vengeance looks like, it looks like a scuffed version of a Grumman Avenger.
It was a dive bomb, World War II.
It looks like if you had to redraw a Grumman Avenger from memory and you had poor drawing skills, that's what you would end up with.
It's an interesting way of putting it.
It has, yes, indeed. ICM have confirmed their 48 scale B-26K Invader will be out on September. It turns out the artwork for the boxes isn't quite finalised, and they've been asking for opinions on Facebook if the box should say B-26K Invader or just Invader B-26K. It seems to me as long as the plastic inside the box is good, I don't think people would mind either way. The Falcon continues on with Great Wall Hobbies have announced quite some time back that they would be doing a 32nd scale Curtis P40C/Hawk 81.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't heard much since, but Great Wall Hobbies just posted a bunch of sprue pics and some build work in progress shots. We'll have to wait and see what the experts have to say about the accuracy, but the detail looks remarkable. The engine on its own is a work of art. How they were able to mould such fine piping is a mystery. I didn't have high hopes for this model, but it might be a new benchmark is being set. Now, this one I found really interesting, the next one. Sprue Brothers, who most of us think of purely as a retailer, are now stepping into the kit manufacturing business. In cooperation with decal maker Phantom Freaks, Sprue Brothers plan to release 12, and yes, you heard it right, 12 1/32nd scale kits of the F4 Phantom, which is pretty much all of the Phantom versions. The CAD renders look extremely detailed, with lots of rivets on the surface, full engines, and highly detailed cockpits. It also will have a metal undercarriage, and Sprue Brothers also claim to be using a new mould system, whatever that might be. Sprue Brothers have tentatively chosen the F4B as the first release, so look for it sometime in 2022. Wow, that is awesome news.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. I just want to sort of recap on the P40. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. That looks insane.
Like they're an entire sprues of just piping and cables and stuff. Because they've molded all the sort of thing that you would normally use lead wire to replicate. All of that's in plastic, and it's not molded onto the parts. You have to glue them in so that they actually look like they're actually hanging in the air and like tied off on things. It looks proper.
Yeah.
The other thing, what was the one before the P40 that was mentioned?
The Vengeance, the multi-Vengeance.
A26.
Oh, yeah. The Invader.
Yeah,
so
the Invader.
I find it interesting that they're having they're trying to gauge the audience of whether they should name it B26 Invader or Invader B26. Because while that may not have mattered much in the past, we're now living in the internet era where the search results, like if you type in Invader, are you going to get their kit or are you not? Which one's going to be first on the results list? Right?
On the Google list, yeah.
Yeah, so the naming convention in this day and age is a very important factor as to how discoverable your products are.
Valid point.
Interesting point. For large-scale builders, large-scale aircraft builders, the announcement by Sprue Brothers just, on the F4 Phantom in 32nd scale, and the fact that they're doing 12 different variants just absolutely blows my mind.
It's a big step, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like, in a way, it feels like they're putting all of their eggs in one singular basket kind of thing.
Well, when you think about it, you got your base mouldings that, it's just with some of the different variants. There's slight changes in the nose, and other slight changes in the wings and that type of stuff. So it wouldn't be that hard to, do those changes sort of on the fly. Excuse the pun, but the fact that they're doing all 12 of the variants is just blows my mind. What a fantastic way of putting your feet in the water and testing a way of sort of starting up your own sort of manufacturing company. And hats off to Sprue Brothers, and I just can't wait to hear more about this. I think it's particularly exciting. The scale is not one that I'd necessarily purchase. I think it's a bit too large for me personally, but wow, it's just amazing.
Well, they've taken the Dragon models approach, right, where you covered all the various different variants of a particular vehicle because you've got enough interchangeability.
Yes,
absolutely.
It'll be interesting if it's like, I suspect they'll end up with, like, out of the 12 variants, there'll be 3 that sell the most, and the rest sort of are very poor sellers, perhaps.
Yeah. Still on aircraft, and lastly, the Falcon notes. Don't know if you have already spoken about this one, but online there was recently photos released of a Wingnut Wings Lancaster. It seems most likely it was built from sprues that were doing the rounds of model shows. The builder, however, has hinted that the Wingnut Wings owed the toolmakers, I should say, a lot of money, and that somebody paid Ferrari money to actually buy the moulds. So there is sort of maybe a chance that the big Lancaster might one day be released by someone other than Wingnut Wings. Now, Julian, you and I, we sort of had a bit of a chat online about the pictures that we saw of the Lancaster having been built. And what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's probably more likely to be just a one-off. Like, I don't think it's going into production. If it goes into production again,
it'll be dumbed. If it's coming from a Chinese company, it'll be dumbed. It'll be dumbed down detail-wise.
Maybe.
Well, I don't see how you can dumb it down detail-wise because the details are already done in the molds. The molds are already built and finished.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
So you think how much maintenance you'd have to do on those molds, though? They want to have molds that are going to be basically maintenance free, and they can just keep pumping out products.
Yeah, molds don't necessarily need that much maintenance apart from the fact, I mean, you can get a good 10,000 shots out of a mold. The maintenance you need is where the two, in the machine, you got the two halves are being pressed together. You do get some issues there over a period of time, but you just get sort of small shims and stick them behind the molds just to fix those imperfections. So the actual molds themselves, like the interior detail, is not really too much damaged by the injection molding process.
Yep.
So, and
well, this is also putting the cart before the horse. So I don't think that what's his name, Peter Jackson, would have let go of the molds. I don't think it's going to happen. People are seeing this one singular guy in Asia building one of these things, and they're like, "Oh, it's out there. We're going to get one." It's like, I doubt it.
Yeah,
I really doubt it.
But
I reckon he's just gotten a hold of one of the test shots that were like here at Model Expo. We saw the test shots.
Yeah.
They had the screws there right in front of us.
Yeah, I reckon it's holding them.
Someone's just managed to get a hold of one of them and decided to build it.
But there's counter arguments because this particular builder in Hong Kong is a award-winning model builder in his own right. He owns a model shop over there and has very deep contacts into the manufacturing areas in China.
Yeah, well, we could all be fooled. Any of us could be wrong. But I remain unconvinced.
Until it's actually officially released, I'm going to be skeptical.
Yeah,
okay.
That's my position.
All right. Well,
I'm not one to count my...
slammed the door on that one, didn't it?
Well,
yeah.
I know. I'm going to put my foot in the door. I think we're going to see it. I really do. It is, I mean, it's like somebody discovering unobtainium and then knowing what they've got and then releasing it onto the market. They know it's going to be a money seller. It's going to be a money maker, I should say.
Yeah, but it's not like
it's going to be a huge.
It's not like they were wandering through like a hobby shop and they're like, "Oh, what's this in the corner?" And they see a rustic wooden box with a lot of dust on it, and then they kick it open and, "Oh, it's the mighty lost molds from Wingnut Wings." It's like, no, you don't come across something like that. No, someone bought it if they bought it, or they didn't buy it because they couldn't get it.
And we have seen the release of the Fokker triplane. So that was a Wingnut Wings aircraft.
It was based on the Wingnut Wings.
Well, the molds were actually pre-owned by Wingnut Wings. So there you go.
Okay.
I reckon we're going to see the Lank, and I reckon we're going to see it in the next.
Well, if anyone's going to bring it out, it'll be Mung, because Mung was doing all the molding for Wingnut Wings.
Yeah.
So if anyone will bring it out, it will be Mung.
Yep. And I reckon we'll see it, and we'll see it in the next 12 to 24 months. There you go. You heard it first here on the Bench.
Yeah, you heard it. And that was all from Dave.
Oh, geez. The Falcon continues on with armor kits now, and he says that Ace Models in 1/72nd scale are doing a JCAM 4x4 Unimog for long-range patrol missions, is now ready for production and should be in the shops fairly soon. Copper State Models have released photo etch sets for their own Russian Lanchester and Romfeld armoured cars. Unfortunately, the Lanchester Fret doesn't include wire wheels, while Copper State Models have done about as well as possible with injection moulding. The kit's plastic wire wheels aren't completely convincing and could do with an update. Ian, what are your thoughts on that?
They're nice wheels. They're very thin, but they're not as thin as you could do with either photo etch or wire.
Okay.
So, look, they look great. As a kit, it looks fine. But if you want to go that extra mile, start doing some scratch building.
Fair enough. Dragon Models will be re-releasing another 1/35th scale Panther. It's a German Panther command tank with Zimmerit and Magic Tracks. As almost always with Dragon these days, nice kit, but so expensive.
Expensive, yes.
Absolutely. Bronco Models have shown photos of their soon-to-be-released 35th scale US Army Light Type 3 skid steer loader. It's a tiny model, but looks to be very nicely detailed with PE side screen mesh and vinyl tubing for the hydraulic lines. Now, a skid steer loader is pretty much what we would know as a... what's those little ones called? They're not skid steer. Oh, I can't think of the name of them now.
What, you mean like those little articulated buckets?
No. You see them on all the building sites, man. You know, all the builders have got them and run around.
Oh, Bobcat.
Bobcats, that's the one.
Oh, Bobcats.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What we call a Bobcat, yes.
Yeah, they call them skid steer over in the US.
Oh, okay.
We've got some more armour kits release announcements, but we will go into that when we finished with what the Falcon has to say. So let's jump to what the Falcon has to say about science fiction, and I'm very excited about this. Mobius Models have announced a kit of the Orion Space Clipper ship from 2001, A Space Odyssey. The kit is in 1 semisecond scale, so will be quite large at 29 inches long. And you know what else is large? The price at $180 US. That's all from the Falcon.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you go indeed.
Interesting things coming again.
Oh, I know it. All right, now I have got some more news to talk about. Let me just bring it up because this one was particularly exciting. Here we go. And from Das Works, they are going to be doing a 1/16th Stug 3. Ian, this is your little baby. Tell us about it.
My little baby.
Well, you like your Stugs, don't you?
I like Stugs. That's a big Stug. That's a big Stug. A Stug 3 Ulst G.
But this blows me away. In 1/16th scale, recommended retail price is $100 US.
Well, it's actually pretty cheap.
Cheap? That is a bargain.
Yeah, I suppose. But
for the size.
On the other hand, yeah, I do agree. It is really good pricing. I wonder if it'll really be that price. It seems a little too good to be true.
I can confirm it because I was looking at the video from one of the other podcasts who was actually at the show, which is going on as we speak. And they had $99 show special, so you get it $1 cheaper if you pre-order. How's that?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if how much it probably doesn't have any interior.
It has full interior, and it has
full interior,
articulated wheels as well.
That's an obscene price then.
Individual links on the tracks.
See, I'm not really into really big tanks, but I could be swayed with this one.
Oh, you stop it, right? You don't have anywhere to put your shit, much less a tank this big.
I am sitting...
Not unless you make it so the top comes off and you can use like a cookie jar or something.
The top does come off. You can have the top just popping off so you can see all the detail inside. Man, for $99, you just buy it because you could.
Yep. Yeah, no.
It doesn't even make sense to price it that low.
Yeah.
Well... I don't know. I mean, they've obviously done something, and
I reckon at that price they should send us one so we can do a kit review.
Like, if you look at that price, how can you possibly justify the prices of 35th scale armor kits across the board?
Well, maybe are we looking at the cusp of a new revolution in modelling, where these large kits drive down the prices of the smaller ones?
Geez, that'd be good to see, wouldn't it? Because I have to admit, kits nowadays are getting ridiculously expensive.
Nowhere near as expensive as, say, the railroad enthusiasts.
Oh yeah, but they're weird.
Well, I think the prices have gone up over time just because that's hobbies, like you look at other hobbies in the space. The railroad guys pay out of the nose. The remote control guys pay out of the nose.
Yep.
The only one who's getting off cheap have been us, really.
Well, I've actually seen as I said, I've seen the model or the test shot being displayed at the Nationals, and it looks to be just an absolutely astounding kit, and even more so at that price. And if you don't buy one, you're mad.
Go, Dave.
Yeah.
Let's just force our listeners.
Border Models have released a preview of their 135th scale JU87 Stuka.
G1 or G2 version?
Yeah. Now,
that's the one that usually came out as a tank buster too, wasn't it? The G2.
Yeah, it was. It had those under the pylons machine guns or those cannons, I should say, mounted. Yes.
The gun pods.
Yeah. It's
just a weird scale. Like, fair enough. It goes with the armor kits, but do we really need another scale?
Yeah, I've got to say I'm a bit confused as to why it's 135th scale. I really do.
Yeah. 132, 132nd scale, so close.
Yeah. And, 132nd scale has been set as a standard for World War I stuff. Why wouldn't you sort of follow through in that same scale? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. It's odd. But anyway, there are some aircraft out there you can get for 135th scale, and it's sort of...
Oh, Borders releasing them all. They're doing 109s as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did deal with 109.
Now, this is an interesting thing that popped up from Roden. They're going to be doing a Silverline GMC PD 307 in 35th scale interior.
What a great looking model kit that'd be.
Now, this is, for those who don't know what it is, it's from the 40s, 50s, I think. It's a true classic Pan-American road travel Greyhound bus. There you go. It comes with full interior and engine.
And look at that bare metal sides. The car,
just absolutely gorgeous. So
it wouldn't be an easy model to make, because like you look at every single one of those windows has a metal frame to it, like an aluminium looking frame.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we're having a look at some CAD drawings of the interior and the engine bay, which is quite detailed from what we can see from the CAD drawings. But yeah, look, for those of you who enjoy building your civil vehicles, this should be a nice kit to build. And
it'll look good done.
Yeah, the scale will be right. Gee, you'd have to get the weathering down, Pat, wouldn't you?
Hey.
Wow.
And if you weren't into doing like classic vehicles, you could turn into a post-apocalyptic vehicle.
Of course you could. Next is the news from Trumpeter, and they've announced 3 new releases for August. The first one is a Russian S-300V SAM, which is basically a tracked vehicle with the S-300V air defense missile system on top. It comes with 4 large missile containers on top of the vehicle, which can be raised into the firing position. And yeah, it looks like the actual missiles themselves are detailed as well, so you can have them exposed or sitting outside the vehicle for display. What scale did I say that was in? 135th. It's quite a large kit, actually.
Yeah.
This is one of their newer kits that come with what do you call it? Window masks.
Yes.
I think it does come with window masks.
Yeah, it did.
Clear parts, copper cable included, as well as some photo etch as well. In 1/700 scale, they've released a PLA Navy Type 072A LST. These Chinese PALN new tank landing ships have been developed domestically, about 120 metres long in real life, 16 metres wide. Make a nice little kit for those of you who like building in the 1/700 scale. I'm disappointed to see it in that scale. Would have been nice in 1/350, but never mind. Dave can't always get what he wants. Last but not least, we have the Soviet 5P-71 launcher with the 5V-27 missile Pretoria, which is known under...
that looks like Petora or Pecora to me.
Yeah, but it's called a Goa under NATO, so it's the SA-3B Goa. It's a high to medium altitude air defense missile. So it should make a nice little diorama, actually.
Yeah.
You could...
Yeah, it's its own little dolly.
Yeah, now, I'm just
it's not just a little dolly, though. It's I think it's like the full, like, launching, like, vehicle type thing
without the radar system. So this is the
it's just not mounted. Yeah. It's not self-propelled. That's the only difference.
Yes.
Wonder when these came out. What era were they?
No,
I'm pretty sure it was the 70s. They might have seen service in one of the Israel Arab Wars, I think.
All right.
I don't know whether it actually was used in Vietnam though by the North Vietnamese. So. Anyhow, the kit model length is 277 millimetres and the width of 82, 14 sprues, 820 parts, rubber tyres, and also some photo etch is included. There you go. Well, that's all I have for what's new in the modelling world. Gents?
Yeah, that was it for me.
Julian?
No, that's it. Except for that one other thing.
Well, okay. So, shall we move on to the next announcement, which is
big announcement?
The meat on this, the burger of this podcast.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is actually a double patty. I've got to tell you. All right, we have announced out of New Zealand a new model company called Kotare. Kotare. It is. It's spelt Kotare, but actually pronounced Kotare, which I
presume would be a native New Zealand bird.
It's kingfisher, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. So like our kookaburra.
Yes. So this company, from what we can see, is got its roots back in the old days of Wingnut Wings.
Yes.
With some interesting people aboard. So the proprietor of the company is Mark Robson, I beg your pardon, who has had a lifelong interest in scale modelling and aviation since his dad first bought him an Air Force kit when he was 5 years old. So that passion has continued on and manifested it in several ways, including building award-winning models, being an active member of IPMS New Zealand, and becoming the proud owner of Model Air, which is New Zealand's longest established model shop.
Correct, yes.
He strongly believes that modelers need brick and mortar stores with actual modelers on staff to assist with the continuation of the hobby. So that's a proprietor. The general manager, and we all know this gentleman, Richard Alexander. So Richard used to be the project coordinator and then general manager of Wingnut Wings from June 2006 until April 2020. And Richard still retains his enthusiasm for ensuring models are highly detailed and accurate while remaining simple and enjoyable to build. Wow. Product designer is Darren Middenhall, who's born and raised in Wellington, New Zealand. He's a graduate with a major in industrial design from the School of Design. Darren was a product designer for Wingnut Wings until April 2020, where he was responsible for designing around a quarter of the Wingnut Wings range of models, which are rightly considered to be amongst the finest scale model aircraft in the world. And he's aiming to continue that tradition since joining a new company. Product and industrial designer Jason McAdam. Jason was product designer also at Wingnut Wings until April 2020, and he was responsible for designing around a quarter of their highly acclaimed aircraft kit sets. So that's interesting as well as another alumni from Wingnut Wings. Box art's going to be done by Daryl Legg, who's born in Cape Town, South Africa, and he's been a full-time professional artist since he was 20 years old, considered one of the world's finest aviation artists. Daryl paints in acrylics on gesso primed canvas, whatever the heck that is.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people in Europe and other countries use gesso primer, and I've never heard of it, but it must be pretty decent stuff. Everyone's using it.
Yeah, he's currently lives in Karoo town of Middelburg. You can find out more about Daryl's work by going to aviationartsa.com. And the decal artist is Malcolm Laird, and Malcolm hails from, we see, he's been in the model industry since 81, first as Falcon Vacform Models, and then as Ventura, which produced decals and short-run injection molded kits. He still produces his line of Ventura decals and a range of soft-cover aviation books, mainly with a Kiwi flavour. Malcolm was a decal artist for Wingnut Wings until April 2020 and welcomes the opportunity to continue his renowned works with Kotare. Profile artist is Ronnie Barr, a former rock musician. Hey, Johnny has a long life interest in aircraft since growing up near the El Palomar Air Force Base in Buenos Aires. He started drawing and building model of aircraft soon after a flight of a T-34 mentor trainer at the age of 10. After retiring from the rock and roll scene, he returned to his early interest in aviation artwork, and his artwork regularly appears in journals and publications like Windsock Worldwide, Windsock Data Files, and Cross and Cockade, and over the front as well as with model companies such as Wingnut Wings. Well, so that's the list of people who are behind this new company, and I've actually reached out to Richard and sent him a message and congratulated him on the start of this. I invited Richard onto the show, but he says there's no point coming on until they've actually got something to mention about what they're doing.
Yep. Have they given us a timeline?
They haven't given us a timeline. Richard is being, as usual,
yes, so keeps his cards close to his chest.
He does. He's well renowned for that. But what we do know is that whatever they're doing, it's going to be in 1/32 scale.
Yes.
And they, on their website at Kotare-models.com, they've got two very cryptic photos, up-close photos. So, to me, it looks like some type of fabric-type construction of an aircraft.
Look, he's throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Wonder if it could be part Lancaster.
No. I don't think so. It'll be a huge undertaking for a company that's sort of just starting off. You want to start off with something.
I'm just not talking about these guys. They were the inside guys. So if anyone would be able to get hold of the molds easier, would be these guys.
Yeah, nah. I don't think so. Not the feeling I'm getting.
No.
Even if they were able to get a hold of them, it would be business suicide to have that as their first kit out of the gate.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You reckon?
Yes.
Why would it be business suicide to have that as their first model?
Because it still costs quite a bit to manufacture and box them.
Imagine how much that...
And they wouldn't make that many sales. Oh,
you're kidding me. You really don't think you could sell that Lancaster in that scale to a huge amount of people?
Well, ask yourself this. What would sell more, a 32nd scale Lancaster or a 32nd scale Mosquito? Because to me, I made a 32nd scale Mosquito and it didn't sell very well.
Well,
but if you were to release something like a Spad, so I mean, right, a nice small fighter, the price is going to be fairly, reasonable.
And if you throw in do a Spad 13 and throw in some decals for Eddie Rickenbacker, that's it. You've just printed your own money.
People have been wanting that from, Like I always say,
I've been wanting that as well for ages.
Like I always say, what people want is not necessarily what sells, but it's definitely one of the areas that haven't been covered, and it's a fairly mainstream subject for World War One aircraft.
Mm.
So it'd be
because that was the one thing that was
idea.
lacking from the Wingnut Wings range.
The SPAD.
I think they had one French aircraft.
Mm.
And that was it.
But here's the other thing, the other side of it, though. If you're starting up with a new company and you're bringing on all these experts from Wingnut Wings, just because they have Wingnut Wings background doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be looking at concentrating on World War One aircraft.
Correct, yes.
So
even though from my memory, it was their passion was the First World War. So
that was Peter Jackson's passion, hence the reason why we got Wingnut Wings.
Yes, but it's also true that because they're so practiced in researching those subjects and they've already got resources to draw from for those subjects, that it makes sense that they would pull from what's close to them rather than what's further away.
Yep.
Yeah. As I said, there's two very cryptic photos on their website, and I'm looking at those two photos, and it's just screaming fabric. And I think it'll either be an interwar aircraft or it'll be a First World War aircraft.
Yep.
I don't know. You guys seeing these same photos as I'm seeing?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at it. They're very cryptic.
Yeah.
Very cryptic.
I think they've been because generally whenever they give sneak peeks of things on the internet, right? Because the internet is essentially crowd sourcing the hive mind of the internet, and there's always someone out there who knows what it is, right? Or can recognize something. They've been extra careful and made them extra non-revealing, right? Because all you would have to, like, if it was anything small, like say a landing light on a World War II plane or something like that, people would pick that. People would pick that instantly and be like, okay, well, it's definitely one of these three planes because they use the, and then I'll rattle off the serial number of that specific light bulb, you know? That's how people are on the internet. You know, they'll figure it out. But this looks vague enough that no one will probably figure it out.
I know someone, I don't know who it was, but I do remember seeing something online where someone had a look at the top photo and thought it was the machine guns on a P-48 on the leading edge of the P-48.
No, and looking at the photos, that's definitely not it.
Whereas to me, it looks like the fuel dump pipes on the bottom or the waste dump pipes on the bottom of the Lancaster. The three pipes they have.
And they have bulges like that around the openings?
Look, we're just speculating. So until they actually come out with what it really is.
Yeah. But you remember when
end up looking like idiots just going, it could be this. Probably wrong.
Yeah, but remember when Tamiya gave a tease of what was going to be their P-38 and people picked it within like the first hour?
Well, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But well, I mean that's the thing. That's why they've been even more cautious with these two particular images. However, if you know your World War One stuff, particularly, I think that might give you an advantage.
Or your post-war aircraft.
Yeah, to be honest, if you have any, it'll be aircraft for sure because it's 30-second scale, right?
Actually, I shouldn't say post-war. I should say interwar. Perhaps a better term.
Yeah. If you have an interest in aircraft and eye for details, you might be able to go on there, see these two photos, and have a stab.
Well, all I can say is certainly in the Wingnut Wings forums on Facebook and through social media, all the diehard Wingnut Wingers, they've been gnashing of teeth, foaming at the mouth, and being apoplectic in excitement over this. So, we'll just have to wait and see. And as I said, Richard has made an undertaking to come on the show as soon as he's got more information that that they're willing to share. So we'll just have to wait and see it, and very exciting news. That's all I can say.
Oh, it's huge news. Huge news.
Anyway, that's about
watch this space.
That's all we can really talk about, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in other news, I guess we would be remiss if we didn't sort of mention that there is something happening on the other side of the world.
No.
Yeah.
Couldn't be.
Yeah, there is, I'm afraid. And it is the IPMS Nationals.
Yay.
Anyhow.
I really was looking forward to meeting up with all the other guys from all the
same.
other podcasts and just having a beer.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
It would have been.
Well, the closest we got was last weekend with the big inter-podcast chat.
Yeah, we did. We all caught up. So for the listeners,
Was that last weekend?
Yeah.
I missed that.
You did too.
You did.
That's disappointing. I wanted to be there for that, but no one told me.
Yes, we did numerous times.
We did tell you a number of
Did you?
times.
Numerous times, Julian.
Oh, I don't recall.
For our
probably-
listeners, all the podcast guys, we all get together on a non-regular basis. So there's a big crowd of us, and we just get together and just talk crap, really, and tell lies to each other. And
see, now that I missed that, it'll be ages before the next one, right? Because they'll have talked themselves to death. They won't even want to talk to each other, see each other, or talk to each other after nationals.
No, I think well, that's a point. I think there's going to be one sooner rather than later because the time that we chose, and it's just the difficulty of living on a world with so many different time zones. The poor guys from the UK, for them to come on, it was about midnight. And so Chris Meddings, he sort of couldn't make it. Did he make it? No, he couldn't make it.
No, he didn't make it.
One of the guys from, wasn't Malcolm? Was it Malcolm
Yeah.
from Just Making Conversation? I want to say it was Malcolm. He popped on, and what a real champion. He hung on until 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
So I think next time it's going to be a more sort of UK-friendly time slot, which means it might be a bit of pain and heartache for us there, but never mind. We'll have to see how
Oh,
it
it just
goes.
means we've got to get out of bed a bit earlier.
Yeah, that's right. It does indeed. So
Or later.
It's all later. Also this weekend up in Queensland, the Queensland Model and Hobby Exhibition is up and running this weekend. Good luck, guys, with that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's great news.
Yeah, I've got real worries that our current issues with COVID will prevent us from having a model show here in Victoria this year again. So,
I'll the same as you, Dave. I'm a bit worried that we're going to miss out again this year.
yeah, so that'll be 2 years without a model show for us.
I'm going to be the pessimist and say it's not going to happen.
You reckon it's going to get canned?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't think government regulations will allow it to occur because the crowd limits and everything. So,
Yep.
And even the interclub event that we've been gearing for may not happen.
yeah,
Well, that's next month, isn't it?
yeah, I can't see that happening either. Oh my Lord, this is just tragic. It goes on and on and on.
Yep.
Hence the reason we're living vicariously through our friends over in the US who are doing some live.
Well, that sums up 2020 and 2021.
Yes, it does.
Living vicariously through others.
Yep.
They've been doing some live feeds on Facebook, so jump on and follow all the other podcasts over there who are over there at the moment and have a listen to what they're saying.
Yeah, the Posse boys and
The Grumpy Scale Modelers and the Geeks, I should say, and of course the boys from Kentucky.
yep.
I'll tell you what, there was one that sort of really popped up in a company called VargasScaleModels.com. And they do some really interesting sort of World War I type stuff. And
Yeah, I saw them. They do a one. I really piqued my interest was they do a World War I US steam powered tank,
yeah, I sure do.
and they do some really unusual stuff. And I know that a lot of the guys that have been going to the Nationals have been picking up all their kits.
Yeah, and it's
So if I was there, I'd be broke by now.
well, I've never heard of this model company prior to actually seeing it sort of showed it at online, and they do stuff like some heavy German trench mortars. They do French mortar, a French medium mortar, Some really unusual and interesting stuff. And they also do some tanks. And I'm just trying to find where the tanks are.
There you go at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one, yeah.
The Pugo Shah 2 with the 75 millimeter gun.
That's a weird looking thing.
Oh, the one below it's even worse. The Pugo Shah 1 with the FT-17.
Yeah, yeah.
Slope cast turret. It looks like something the cartoonist drew.
But he's even done some Christie tanks. The Americans.
Yeah, I saw that, but
well.
I can't find him on his website.
No, you got to go to his Facebook page.
Is that where they are?
So Vargas Scale Models, Vargas Scale Models.
I'll be definitely dropping him a line and probably placing an order for some products.
Well, if you do, let me know and we'll go halves on the shipping because I wouldn't mind purchasing a couple as well, Ian.
Yeah, all right.
So looks very interesting stuff. Yeah. And of course, that's all the stuff we're missing out.
I could be convinced to buy one of their things as well.
Well, there you go. How about we get together and have a big order?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
Spend our ill-gotten gains.
Ill-gotten gains. I've got nothing else to spend money on, so I might as well spend it on models.
That's it. I'm exactly the same.
Can't go anywhere. Can't see anybody.
Yep. Very true.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. That sort of brings us towards the end of the show. You guys got anything to sort of wrap up with?
I'm just going to, once we knock off, I'm going to have a quick bite to eat for lunch, and then I'm going to continue weathering the interior to me Canadian machine gun carrier.
Oh, I'm sure the listeners will be particularly interested to know what you're having for lunch, Ian.
I have no idea yet. Something quick and easy, more than likely.
Might be quick toasty.
Yep.
All right. Okay, Julian.
I don't know, man. Go paint something. Go paint something.
Well, you got to do some modelling yourself.
Yeah, because it's taken me a while to, get off my ass and paint something. So I may as well, forward that advice on to other people now that I've taken it myself.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, gents. Sign off, Ian.
Right, which is your friend?
Julian.
It's not your friend.
Julian.
What? You keep bringing it.
Julian.
Do it.
Julian.
No.
Hello, Julian. Thanks, folks. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in a fortnight. In the meantime, have a great life and enjoy your modelling. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you want some more modelling podcasts, go to modelpodcasts.com to check out all the other fantastic shows that are available. My name's Dave. Been great being with you. Be back in a fortnight. Adios.